πρώτος ψίθυρος της δημιουργίας θαύτηκε μέσα σε μια συντριπτική σιωπή.
The first whisper of creation was buried in a crushing silence.
Πριν η γη πάρει μορφή, ένας άγνωστος παλμός χτυπούσε μέσα στο κενό.
Before the earth took shape, an unknown pulse throbbed within the void.
Μια τεράστια δύναμη καταβρόχθησε το σκοτάδι ανάμεσα στα άστρα.
A vast force consumed the darkness between the stars.
Ο κόσμος λαχταρούσε μια γέννηση που έφερε το άρωμα του θανάτου.
The world longed for a birth that carried the scent of death. This story, Demeter, the lady of roots and growth, before there was any plowing or any seed sank into the heart of darkness, a cosmic necessity took shape within the womb of Cronus. The void suffered not from the absence of matter, but from the absence of meaning. In that age when time had not yet recognized itself, Demeter began not as a being, but as a pulse, a tremor in the spine of existence that commanded the earth to not be merely a cold grave. In the dark belly of her father, beside her brothers and sisters, she tasted annihilation before life. There, in eternal bondage, she learned how to take root even as she was being devoured. When Zeus shattered the bonds and hurled her into the light, Demeter was born with open eyes, eyes that knew every life bears a heavy debt to darkness. With her first step upon the breadth of the cosmos, reality changed shape. Solid rocks softened beneath the weight of her sanctity, and the first ear of wheat rose not from seed, but from her pure will. She was an architect who inscribed the law of growth into the warp and weft of atoms. Her power was not human. She was the very law that commanded cells to multiply. Her dominion had no borders, for wherever there was soil, she reigned. Mountains bent before her, and oceans drew back so she could set the green pulse of life flowing through the veins of the earth. She reached the height of her dominion, while the Olympian gods reveled in wine within their stone palaces. Demeter had multiplied within every particle of living being. She was the soul of the world, and the world a reflection of her fertile smile. But within the heart of this splendor, a void yawned open. Persephone, a piece of her flesh and the embodiment of spring, vanished. In that moment, the cosmos witnessed its first irreversible rupture. Demeter, once the source of order, became a cosmic chaos. When she learned that Hades, with the green light of Zeus, had carried spring down into the depths of the realm of the dead, she rebelled not only against the gods, but against being itself. She donned a black cloak, and with every step all greenness fled the world. This was no simple sulk, it was the collapse of the spine of nature. She commanded the earth to grow no more. Lifeblood of plants froze, and clouds rained not water, but dust of death. The gods gazed down from Olympus in terror, for they realized that without Demeter, not only mortals, but even worshippers and sacrificers would perish. Demeter took on the form of an old woman in Eleusis to touch the depth of mortal suffering. Yet wherever she went, reality spun around her. She tried to burn a mortal child in the fire of divinity to make him immortal, but the mother's scream extinguished the flames. This was a point of no return. She understood that even the power of a goddess could not forcibly shatter the boundary between mortal and eternal.
Her true battle was not with a sword, but with hunger. She took the entire cosmos hostage. The heavy silence of the fields thundered louder than Zeus's lightning. At last, the structure of existence cracked. Zeus, the proudest of the gods, was forced to yield. But Hades, the deceiver of the depths, had fed Persephone a pomegranate seed, a blood-bound tie to darkness that could never be undone. The bargain that took shape determined the eternal balance of the world. Persephone returned, but not forever. From then on, life became a painful repetition. Demeter accepted to sit in mourning for half the year and in celebration for the other half. This was not an ending, but a wounded continuity. From that moment on, the concept of time changed for living beings. The seasons were born. Winter is the echo of Demeter's weeping, and spring the tremor of her hands as she embraces her child. Demeter did not reach the end of the line. Rather, she herself became the finish line and the point of beginning. She became the goddess of mysteries, the one who taught the chosen in Eleusis that death is only the sinking of a seed into the soil so it may grow again. She left the world alone with this truth. Every blossoming is rooted in a loss. She did not depart. She is present in every bite of bread, in every wind that passes through wheat stalks, and in every gravestone from which a plant grows. Because of her, the world learned how to forge blessing from ruin, and this is the eternal legacy of the lady who, with her sorrow, taught nothingness how to reign.